What's up, everybody? That car guy Eddie here, and today's Civic information. That's right, for all you Civic fans. I was reading this morning on the way to work a lot about the new 2022 Civic Si, and I just kind of wanted to give you guys my thoughts and kind of from an enthusiast point of view. Maybe you're thinking about waiting for the new 2022 Si. Maybe you can't find a 10th gen and you want to wait till the 11th gen body style, and kind of where Honda is going. I feel I've kind of been on the mark when it comes to where Honda's going. So for what it's worth, this is just my opinion. First of all, if you are brand new to the channel and this is your first one, make sure you go check out some of my content. I have all sorts of crazy stuff. I have side-by-side stuff, I have Honda stuff, I have Ford stuff, I have lemon law stuff that I successfully done. I'll give you information on how I think the market is going, whether you should buy or sell your car. If you would have been subscribed 2 years ago, you would have known to buy your car prior to COVID, or at least during the onset of COVID when everything was super cheap, but you weren't subscribed, so there you go. All right, so Honda is releasing its 2022 Civic, which is actually going to be the 11th generation Civic. And I don't necessarily care about the base one. The reason I don't really care about the base one is because I don't think that it's all necessarily that good of a car. I don't think that it's something that is going to be game-changing and going to be big for the enthusiast community. I mean, everybody's always going to buy Civics. That's all there is to it. Just like everybody's going to buy a Corolla, everybody's going to buy a Camry. They don't really ever make headlines with fancy things unless they have good tech in them. You can take a very boring vanilla car and slap a lot of really cool tech in it, throw kind of like an aero kit on it, and suddenly it's the talk of the town. But the Civic didn't do that. In fact, a lot of people think that the Civic grew up a little bit, and you know, I think that that's okay. I think that the 10th gen Civic had some great styling, and I think that it was amazing for Honda to get back to that more racer-esque route, underground street racer route thing, you know, that a lot of people think of Civics when they think of. But cars in general are getting a little bit more plain in this segment. So with that being said, what Honda did was they basically made the car bigger. In fact, to me, it kind of looks like a Jetta. Like, I mean, it's just kind of plain. It's lost its Japanese looks, and I was really hoping that when the SI came out, the SI was going to kind of fix that. It was going to lower it a little bit. It was going to put on some aero. It was going to maybe get a little wing. It was going to maybe come in some better colors. And you know what? The 2022 SI was just debuted today, and it's okay. It's all right. It's kind of growing on me. It might be one of those things that I need to see more in person. Now, I have seen one 11th gen in person, and I'll tell you, it was striking. The reason it was striking wasn't because it was anything that was shocking to me. It was just the first time that I saw one. I remember the first time that I saw a Prius Prime, how excited I was because it was a new car. So for what it's worth, I'm a car guy in general. I can appreciate a lot of things. So that was my first experience with it. But let's talk about the 2022 SI. So first of all, I want to give you guys a base of what they're coming from, okay? If you were to go buy a 10th gen SI today, what you would get. So you would get a car that's basically 2,900 pounds, front wheel drive, 6-speed, and it comes with a 1.5 turbocharged motor that makes 192 horsepower. I'm sorry, 192 torque with 205 horsepower. Now, that's a good car. It doesn't come with Honda sensing. Well, the 2021 does, but the 2020 doesn't. You know, it's an okay car. I had one. I really liked it. I wish it was a little bit more punchier on the top end, but hey, that's what we got the 2022 for. So let's talk about what the 2022 has. So the 2022 has the same 1.5 turbocharged motor that is in the 10th gen Civic. It's exactly the same. It's the L15. And I'm assuming it's going to have the same turbo on it because the power is down. Yeah, you've heard me right. The power is down on the 2022 Civic Si. So what they did is they went from 205 horsepower to 200 horsepower, but Honda claims that they were able to keep their torque still at 192 and the peak horsepower comes into the rev ranges 300 RPMs sooner. They've also lightened the flywheel. And they gave it automatic rev matching, which is really just it's a PCM tune. To me, I don't know. I don't think Honda did enough with the SI. I really don't. They may have done enough with the SI today, this moment. But look, in a world of 270 horsepower WRXs and 245 horsepower GTIs, why would you buy a Civic SI that is down 5 horsepower from the year before? I just don't understand. It's crazy to me. It's almost like when Honda went backwards with IV Tech, They changed the car. They did this radical styling, this European styling thing back in 2003 with the EP1. Hell, the Civic was made in the UK, okay? The Type R was made in the UK. How anti-Honda is that? And it was very European, and they put this IV Tech in, and they sold it over here, and it's like the worst Type R ever. And it's the worst SI ever. I had a chance to drive an EP1, and it didn't do anything. I was just waiting for VTEC forever, and nothing happened. And really, what I'm afraid that Honda's going to do is they're going to kill the SI, I read some staggering statistic that stick shift cars are less than 1% of what companies sell. And for a company to still make the SI makes me feel good that they're still making a 6-speed car. Thank you for that, Honda. But how are you going to go down on power? I just don't understand. Now, why do I think they went down on power? I'll tell you, and you got to understand Hondas from back in the day. For anybody in there that's lived under an eggshell, everybody knows that the new Acura Integra is coming. And my feeling is that the Acura Integra will get a boosted horsepower bump over the Civic. And they had to lower the Civic's maximum horsepower so that they didn't make the same car in Honda / Acura format. That's what I think is going to happen. So with that being said, I think that the Integra is going to come with 215 horsepower and 200 foot-pounds of torque. And it's going to come with rev matching and LSD and that lightened flywheel. Basically, I think that they took the SI motor that they've been developing for the SI and they put it in the Integra, and then the marketing team was like, wait a second, like, the Integra is going to command more. It's going to command more than a Civic. I mean, what's a Civic Si cost nowadays? Like $27,000 for an SI before markup? I mean, in COVID, you're probably paying 30, 32, 31. I mean, that's WRX territory. Like, you have to be able to price the Civic down. Oh, and the Civic weight is up. The Civic weight's up 50 pounds. Now, you do get a bump in fuel mileage, but if you're buying an SI, you really don't care about fuel mileage a whole lot. So, the SI just fit in a very niche market. And what I mean by very niche market is it's affordable, turbocharged, fun. But if you want a better car, the WRX is out there. The GTI is out there. And, like I said, I really just feel like Honda missed the mark on it. I just don't understand what they were thinking, what they were doing, other than the fact that they do not want to neuter their Integra sales. That's my bigger thing. I just think that the Integra is a more important car than the Civic Si for Honda because it went away and it came back. And I don't think that this is future-proof. Honda traditionally only redoes their cars every 6 to 8 years. So think of a 200 horsepower Civic Si in 8 years. I mean, I don't think that it's going to be able to stand with how things are going. Unless, of course, they change around the power plant in it. So, for what it's worth. Anyways, what do you guys think that Honda did with the new car? What do you think that they did? How do you think that they did with it? Do you think that it's going to be enough power? Do you think that it's going to sell? If you were in the market, what would you buy? Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Ride hard.